What's your name, sir?
My name's Dylan Kraswanski.
Awesome, man. Who do you work with?
I'm the operations manager at Organarchy Hops.
That is amazing.
We're Maryland's first certified organic hop farm. Right now, one of the largest hop farms on the East Coast. How I got started in this was back in 2011. Solomon, the owner of the property, called me and asked if I wanted to grow hops. So came out here for a couple weeks just to check it out, and ended up calling my boss and telling him I wasn't coming back, and moved cross country, and came out here and haven't looked back. I guess to kind of start from the beginning, we use alpaca manure from a neighboring farm as a base for a lot of our fertilizer and soil amendment applications and compost teas throughout the year. We have a couple different varieties of animals on the farm that we all utilize their manures. We have a compost facility that catches rainwater drain off for our compost teas that we can reuse. We grow all of our own barley for our fodder, for our feed for our animals. So we don't have to purchase outside feed from other companies. It's all, self-contained within our kind of little circle here. Some of the things we're planning on doing in terms of sustainability in the future is looking at solar power for the roofs of our barns to supply electricity, rainwater collection for our hydroponic system in our greenhouse, and things like that. Just trying to keep things we're bringing in from off the farm to a minimum, and keeping everything full circle here. The farm itself is about 450 acres. We have about 50 farmable acres on the property. We have 14, we will have 14 and a half acres of hops planted this spring. We're doing a few acres of vegetables. We have a small orchard in that field we'll be putting in a few bee boxes there for honey production. We have about 13 acres of grazing area for cattle and pigs. We have 60 chickens in a run over here, which and I'm trying to think, am I missing anything, Solomon? In Frostburg, not on this property, we have another about 100 acres that is old strip mine property that we're converting to organic farmable land.
I'm Solomon Rose. I own this property here, Organarchy Hops now. It's been in my family since '94, I believe we bought the property. So I just came in about 3 years ago with my partner Dylan, and pretty much converted it from all cattle to USDA organic hops and vegetables. The USDA organic just basically means that you have a certifier that comes down and it goes over all the inputs that you're putting into the ground, no outside fertilizers, anything that's GMO listed or anything like that isn't allowed. We are allowed to use certain kinds of amendments as long as they're approved by the USDA, as far as killing different kind of funguses and stuff like that, but it's all through an organic means of application. So it's pretty strict guidelines for what we have, but it seems to be working out in our favor. As you know, the organic market right now is just kind of on the up and up. Everybody is starting to realize what is going into making the food, what's going into what you're eating and everything like that. So it's just been kind of our mission to not only provide a quality beer product for breweries to use, but also something that is very environmentally friendly and something that gives back to the actual farm and gives back to the people that work here. Yeah, the sustainability of the place. Dylan had mentioned a fodder system. Fodder is basically sprouted grains. And it's an 11-day process, and you get about a mat of grain that's about this big, and it's sprouted up into green. So what that does is that you can use that to feed all the different animals. The chickens love it, the cows love it, my horses eat it, and so do the pigs. What this does is enable us to conserve rainwater runoff, and we run it through our system, and it sprouts the grain that we grow on the farm. thus providing us a year-round supply of feed that's very low cost. Our cost on the feed, I think our first month we saved about $800 in feed the first month we started using it. So those type of inputs that we have, as well as working with neighboring farms, as he mentioned, Barb's alpaca farm down the road, a farm down in Virginia that we get some chicken manure from. All those things kind of being a collective and kind of figuring out how to get things from other farms in trade and work those out is what we've really focused on and tried to get more and more to the point where everything on our farm is just working as a full circle and everything's coming back to us at the end of the year without a great deal of cost, either A, producing it ourselves or going somewhere else to find it. So that balance is definitely something that's hard to find, but at the same time it's very, very worth it at the end. So. These chickens are pretty much just for us. We like eggs and chicken meat, so we keep them around. Just another thing that's kind of self-sustainable, you know. Don't have to pay for our eggs, and they clean up all kinds of grass clippings and everything we feed them. So.
But we add food scraps, leafy matter, whatever we can to this thing, and the worms eat it. And if you look at this, you can see how it's real fine, and all that's worm castings. Really good for compost teas, soil amendments. You can top dress with it. This is pretty much the best stuff you can get. It's like growers gold. People charge anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks for a couple pound bag of that, and we can make our own. This whole side, which is about I'd say a cubic yard of soil, we can get every 2 months. And we alternate eggshells and other stuff in here. But you can pretty much put anything organic in here. Any leafy matter, any food scrap, not processed foods, but you know, any vegetable food scrap or anything like that, and the worms will just munch it right up and turn it into really good, nice soil for you.
We use all rainwater caught off this building to feed it and adjust the pH how it needs to be, and hopefully have some year-round tomato, lettuce production in here that can keep us going and keep food in our belly for the year-round. So that's pretty much the gist of it there.
So this is our first hop field that we planted back in late 2011. This is about a 1/4 acre. It's got 225 Willamette variety hops. Take a look here. These are the hop sprouts just sprouting up. Basically the process is once they sprout, they'll get to about 1 foot tall, and you cut them all down. And then new shoots emerge. It's a little bit hardier than the first growth. And once you cut, we string these wires up top with, this year we're using an OMRI certified paper product called BioTwine. Different farms use different stuff. Some people use coconut rope. Last year we used jute. Kind of looks like that.
So we'll just come in and put this string right here in the ground like this, and they go clockwise all the way up to the top. And with the right irrigation and stuff like that, they can actually grow up to 1 foot a day. So you can almost see them go. It's a really cool process.
Now that pipe you see there is a discharge manifold for our compost pad.
Okay.
That thing's actually, the way it works is pretty cool. We had the local NRCS office engineered and designed it, and basically as our compost is sitting up there composting and finishing, anytime it rains, The pad's sloped to the front and it's got a footer drain. So anytime it rains, we can harness that rainwater. It feeds into that drain into a storage tank, which we can then pump out and use that to fertigate all of our plants. If it ever gets too full, there's an auxiliary overflow, which is that drainage manifold there. And it comes out those holes and then will naturally feed down the side of this hill and feed this field